New reports are suggesting that Sony and Marvel have worked it out, that there's a new deal on the table. All is well in the universe. Spider-Man is coming back to the MCU, but should we believe these new reports? That's what we are going to get into in this live stream. What is up, everybody? I'm Josh, of course. Welcome back to the Den, man. What a crazy week. What a crazy week it has been. You know, obviously, I think this Sony Marvel thing took a lot of people by surprise. This was not something that I think most of the internet was ready for this week, particularly when it comes to Disney. And that's what we're going to get into. So we're going to get into the new reports that do suggest that the deal is finalized, but I want to talk about what is going on with that report. Should we believe that report and all of that? And by the way, guys, I hope you guys don't mind that I decided to do this in a live stream today. You know, things are just crazy this week. I have a lot to do today to get ready for actually later tonight. There's going to be a D23 panel that discusses Disney Plus. And so we're expecting to get a lot of stuff, maybe even that trailer for The Mandalorian. So I'll be working late tonight, but I wanted to just get this live stream going on, talk to you guys about this new report out there and what is going on with the Sony Marvel situation. It's been pretty wild. So we'll get into this. I'll talk about the report. I'll talk about what's going on here, and then we will get into Q&A. I'm sure a lot of you guys have questions about what is going on with this whole situation and just in general, like what's going on in the nerdy world out there, okay? But first, let's talk about this new report. So the report itself is coming from Cosmic Book News, okay? Now, I talked to a lot of different people about this. Like, you know, we have like a group chat where a lot of the people at the Den of Nerds talk. And we're talking about this because here's the reality of this situation. Cosmic Book News is not a great source, okay? I'm not saying they haven't gotten things right before. They have gotten things right before. But it's just really hard to say that, like, you know, oh, Cosmic Book News has got it. Whoa, we're on to something. But there's a couple of different things that we got to talk about because, honestly, when you look at the way Deadline reported this, when you look at The Hollywood Reporter, when you look at just all of the reporting for this whole event, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I talked to you guys when this initially broke on Wednesday. You know, we did the live stream. You know, we hung out. A lot of you guys came in here. And I'm sure we've been sort of all following this story ever since together. But even right from the jump, I told you guys, I was like, look, there's a lot of conflicting information out there. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know the exact answer for. And when we came out and did the report on Wednesday and talked about the 50-50% deal, even back then, when we're talking about the 50-50% deal, I was like, you know, hey, look, this is what's being reported, right? I'm not 100% sure. I'm hearing different things. And then we corrected that statement the following day. But even yesterday, when I told you guys, when I corrected the statement, I said, look, we seemingly got that incorrect. Because the truth is there are still people reporting the 50% split. There are people out there that are saying that it's absolutely not a 50-50% split, that it was 70-30 the whole time. Basically what's happening here is all of this stuff should be behind closed doors. There's so much negotiating going on, and people are probably hearing little things here and there and reporting it as such. I don't think anybody knows for sure what exactly is going on, at least in the media, with Disney, with Sony, and this whole situation, okay? So the bottom line is, I believe, like, my assessment of the situation is that what is going on is negotiations that I believe personally Sony leaked to the public. They leaked some of this information out there, and I believe that they leaked this in order to get the support of the public out there. Okay? So they leaked this in order to get the support of the public out there. And to me, it looks like that completely backfired for them. It completely backfired. And the public sentiment is very much with Marvel, very much with Kevin Feige, with Disney. And whether or not it's even 100% true that Sony's being ridiculous in this situation, it doesn't matter because the public sentiment is with Marvel, okay? Now, what I think Cosmic Book News did, and this is totally my speculation here, okay? Totally my speculation. But Cosmic Book News and Matt McGloin specifically, I think what they do a lot is they aggregate and they look at what people are saying online. And I swear to God, this is just my opinion. This is what I think happened. They saw the Instagram post with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was an Instagram post made last night. Okay, and in this Instagram post, you got the headline or the caption is something like "We did it, Mr. Stark," and then it's got Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland with like a Spider-Man figure and an Iron Man figure, and it's just like this funny thing. Now, to me, that is news. Okay, that means something. It's cryptic, so you can't like run with it. You can't say that it's like that's for real what's going on, but that damn sure means something. Okay, and I think Cosmic Book News, what they did is they were like reading the tea leaves, and they were like, "Oh man, this is a really good sign. It's likely that this deal will be reached," which, by the way, was reported all over the place. All over the place, people were like, "Hey, I believe this thing will work itself out. The hope is not lost. This is just negotiating." These reports were all over the place. So what I think happened was Cosmic Book News was like, "Hey, this deal is probably going to be finalized." They already had a scoop and a story that they ran weeks ago about how there was going to be 9 Spider-Man movies and how Spider-Man was going to do 3 different trilogies, right? There's a trilogy of him in high school, which we are seeing kind of happen right now. Then there's going to be a trilogy with him in college, and then there was supposed to be a trilogy of him older. Now, I think they did hear that from a source. But what they did yesterday, or even hours ago technically, was write up this report, and it to me is like they are kind of piggybacking off that other report that they had made, and they were essentially saying this will happen, the deal will be finalized. Let's break it. Let's tie in our other report, and then let's claim that it's a scoop. Okay? Now, again, that's my speculation, but technically the report out there coming from Cosmic Book News is that negotiations are back on, and that they actually are knee deep in a deal, that a deal between Sony and Disney is very close to being done. Now, what Cosmic Book News is reporting is that some of this has to do with the fact that Disney wants a big contract with Tom Holland, which would be 6 more movies with an option of 7. Okay? Now, that very well could be true. That could be a big sticking point, something that for both sides to consider. I'm hearing that, or from this report, that the figures would sort of be more like that 70-30, maybe 25-75%, that there will be co-financing, that Disney will own complete distribution rights, but that there will be digital distribution tied in with like Disney Plus and stuff like that. Okay? Now look, again, this is coming from Cosmic Book News. However, this does not mean that this is completely false. I think more or less Cosmic Book News is reading the tea leaves. They are seeing that this deal probably will be finalized because the post yesterday with Robert Downey Jr., the post with Tom Holland, it means something. There's certainly something going on, and as we reported all week, both sides do want this to get finalized, and so it's very likely that Cosmic Book News is onto something. They're not the reason that this story is legit. The story is legit. They're just kind of trying to like dip their toe in and try to get some coverage for it. That's my guess. That's my thing. And I don't have anything personally against Cosmic Book News or this guy at all. Look, we're in the game too. You know what I mean? We're in the game too. We're all sort of trying to talk about these sort of things, get the attention of these very popular things, make content, create a brand. I'm with it. But I just can't in good faith come out and say, oh, Cosmic Book News says this. Yeah, this is official. Tom Holland's completely back in the MCU. Now, that's the official report. That's the official news out there, guys. I do think that this will be figured out. Yeah, I think this will be figured out. So I do think that probably by the end of the weekend, we'll have a finalized thing with the Sony Marvel deal. But the question remains, it's like, how much of this do you even talk about at D23? It would be really cool, like I'm not going to lie to you, if tomorrow, when they come out and talk about the future of Marvel, it would be sick if like Feige came out and he was like, there's been a lot of crazy talk out there in the news about Spider-Man this week. I just want to assure you guys that Spider-Man is a part of the MCU and will be a part of the MCU for a long time coming. So, guys, that's kind of where we're at with this. And yeah, by the way, C-Mob's blowing it up. If you guys could like the stream, that would be really awesome. It certainly does help out the stream. But now I want to get into speculation. I want to get into Q&A with you guys. I want to talk about this because that's another aspect to this. Is there's been so crazy all week, and honestly, the comment section has been like blowing up, and it's just kind of crazy. It's like hard sometimes for me to like really dig in there. Pardon me, and like talk to you guys about what's going on because there's so much noise and everyone's so upset. So. Yeah, let's get into Q&A, guys. Drop some questions in here. Let's talk some Spider-Man. Let's talk some Marvel. Let's talk anything you guys want to talk about. You guys are awesome, and I want to just hang out with you for a little bit, so I'll probably go for like a half hour more here. Second Street Marvel, my main man coming in hot with the super chat. Thank you so much, brother. I feel all this clickbait misinformation only hurts the fans. I wish some of these places would just stop. Yeah, so I was thinking about this, and, by the way, shout out to the Patreons. I'm going to pull the Patreon up here and shout out every single one of the Patreons, because the Patreons, we have, like, this really special relationship. We're really doing something cool with the Patreon for the Den of Nerds and how we're all interacting. Second Street Marvel is, of course, one of the Patreons helping us out, really supporting us there. But, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, this is such a bad week for PR and stuff. It really is sucky that this kind of stuff comes out. Specifically, we talk about, Stan Lee's daughter's comments yesterday. That's like some real hot fire. That's like some super hot fire to be spitting back at Marvel, and it's crazy, right? And on the one hand, it's like, should you even talk about it? As a content creator, I always try to ask myself, and essentially here, beyond just a content creator, we're trying to build a business, we're trying to build a brand. My role really is more like an editor-in-chief role, which I actually was an editor-in-chief for a comic book division. But like, basically the tone that is set from us as a brand or a business by all the different things we cover and how we cover them, that's like an editorial thing. So like the editor in me is always thinking, should we even talk about this? Like yesterday I was like, approaching the story, and I'm like, what do we want to do here? How do we want to cover this? And the bottom line is, man, I think that Marvel is just so big at this point, man. Like, you're going to cover it. Like, everybody's going to cover it anyways. And so I feel like it's important in certain situations for our voice to be heard. We do have a voice in this community when it comes to Marvel and things like that. So it is tricky. I do agree with you. I wish some of this stuff didn't come out. It sucks for the fans. But at the same time, like, as long as we can all keep a level head about it, and as long as channels like this continue to exist where we try to give a fair, objective look at things, I think we're going to be okay. Let's see here. Caleb Griffin coming in hot with the super chat. Is the Mandalorian trailer supposed to drop today? So the Mandalorian trailer, I've heard conflicting things. It could happen today. It could also happen tomorrow morning. I actually do think it'll happen tonight, though, because tonight is like the Disney Plus thing, and I think they want to give a lot of oomph with that. And it was just announced today with the official poster that The Mandalorian is coming out November 12th. November 12th. That's just amazing. This year, and the fall and winter of this year is going to be ripe with a lot of Star Wars goodness. And guys, if you're not excited for The Mandalorian, you're doing it wrong. Because I don't care how you feel about the current slate of Star Wars. I don't care if you like The Last Jedi or you don't like The Last Jedi. The Mandalorian is going to be super dope. Listen to your brother Josh. I'm telling you, The Mandalorian is going to be super dope. You're going to want to check that out. Okay, Mason Larkins coming in hot with the super chat. Do you see Tom Holland as maybe Ben Reilly? Is that a trick question? Of course, because he's a clone. Because he's a clone, of course I see Tom Holland as being Ben Reilly. That's the beauty of that whole situation. Tom Holland could play Ben Reilly, could technically play Kane as well. Kane gets a little bulkier later on, which I think is awesome. C-Mob, I see you, baby. Josh, can we get a live reaction from D23? Yeah, so I was talking with the team about this, and we're not 100% sure how we're going to do this yet. We're going to either do live streams tonight. What I kind of want to do, here's what I think the magic formula is. reactions, doing a reaction, which will either be a video or a live stream, and letting that get out there and circulate, and then doing a live stream later. Because like when we covered San Diego Comic-Con and the studio wasn't fully set up and there's a lot of different things that were going on then. But when we covered San Diego Comic-Con, I love doing the live streams with you guys. But the problem is the live streams don't usually get pushed out as much into the YouTube sphere. So, look, either way, C-Mob, appreciate the love. And we're going to be covering it in some way. And there'll be live streams. Like at the very least, we're going live on Sunday for Star Wars Sunday. And I want to say, too, guys, I hope, if everything works out correctly, Ryan H., one of our newest executive producers on Patreon, is going to be on the stream Sunday. So I'm really hoping it'll be me, Al Schuler, and Ryan H. So it'll be me and the producers talking about everything that happened at D23, specifically with Star Wars. Favorite Star Wars movie? Empire. Easy. But I really do like Rogue One. And you know what's funny? The more I think about Rogue One, the more I'm just like, dude, that is a damn good Star Wars movie. Rogue One, even without the tie-ins to the original trilogy, I think just works as a Star Wars story. Oh my God, speak of the devil and he shall appear. Executive producer Al Schuler in the house. Rogue One is so damn good. I think it works without any of those tie-ins. I think Rogue One should be the foundation for how they approach future Star Wars movies. It just has all these beautiful beats. The way they tie in the Force and the mysticism with the Wills. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Doctor Therapy, his channel is the best channel when it comes to or pertains to things like this. Keep grinding, Josh. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. It is a grind, and I actually had to. Here's a sad little behind-the-scenes story. Both my sisters are in town tonight, and I was supposed to go to the Pirates game. I was actually planning on going to the Pirates game with my sisters, just enjoying some of the sunshine, hanging out there at the park. PNC Park is a beautiful park, by the way. But I'm not going to be able to do that now because of D23 and because we're on stupid California time and the Disney Plus thing ends at 8 o'clock. The game starts at 7. It's like, what am I going to do? I had to cancel. So, the struggle is real for the content creators out there. But yeah, we had to cancel that tonight so that we can cover this D23 stuff. At D23, they should say Tom Holland has a 9-film contract in the MCU, and Sony could still build up the Miles Morales universe instead of having Venom by itself. Yeah, interesting stuff. Here's another really interesting aspect to this whole story. I'm hearing that basically what has to happen here is Sony, if they want to do this Venom movie, that Venom would have to come into the MCU. That is technically in the Cosmic Book News report that Venom would come into the MCU. And like I said, guys, it's like, Cosmic Book News, it is what it is. But that's in there. So can you imagine Tom Hardy's Venom being in the MCU? Because I think here, the essential play here, and I'm going to kind of drift back into this news, but it's crazy to me that, like, Sony really thought that they had leverage in this situation. I think that's why they leaked everything. In my opinion, they leaked everything. So I think they literally thought they had all this leverage, and then the public sentiment really turned against them. So now it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of a deal actually gets struck. But I'm really interested is Tom Hardy in the MCU? How's Kevin Feige going to feel about this? There's some stuff going on right now that Feige's not liking. I mean, obviously, this whole week has been stuff that Feige's not liking. But, it's a crazy situation. I mean, I think at this point, we're all just like, keep Spider-Man in the MCU. If they signed that 6-film contract with a 7-film option, and we just get guaranteed Spider-Man. And as I said to you guys when the story first broke, it was like, look, Spider-Man's really, really freaking important to the MCU and where we go from here. Spider-Man's really freaking important to the MCU and where we go from here. So, yeah, it's really important. Steve coming in with the super chat says, we did it, Josh. And you know what's funny? I get where you're coming from with that, Steve, and I appreciate the love, of course. The fans really did make a lot of noise about this. And, the fans, there was a lot of drama back and forth. And I know there's a lot of different opinions and feelings when it comes to this story. But by and large, I feel like the fans did good job this week because they did make a huge kerfuffle about this. It was pretty clear that the sentiment was on Disney and Marvel's side insofar as their treatment of the Spider-Man character and what the MCU has done is so damn good that like we really do not want the Spider-Man character to go back to Sony. Like pretty much nobody wants that. But I do think it was an interesting week too because like even here on the channel we took some shots at Disney. We kind of like exposed some stuff about Disney because ultimately Disney's a big corporation and this is not good for fans. Like this is business people making business decisions and ultimately the fans are the people that get hurt by this situation. So the fans sort of rose up, you know what I mean? It's like that gamer meme. Gamers rise up, you know? The fans rose up this week and so I think everybody should pat themselves on the back. It wasn't perfect. It was an ugly kind of thing, but yeah, I do think that it severely affected this and that they will sign this deal. And then for those of you that are still just coming in here, I want to just tell you guys that, like, this is reported. It's not confirmed. It's coming from Cosmic Book News. And I already explained earlier in the video where I'm at with this story. I do think that that the report itself is not legit. But I do think the fact that this deal will be worked out is true. I hope you guys can see where I'm coming with that. We've got a couple more super chats. Livingston Sukasis, what happened to make you think Sony did it? Wouldn't Disney benefit more to leak it? Thank you very much for this question and for the super chat in general. But here's where I'm at with this. And I'm not 100% right all the time. But this is where my head is at. Going into D23, these were not the headlines that Disney wanted out there. Disney wanted the narrative this week to be focusing on all the good new stuff that's coming for Star Wars and Marvel at D23, how everybody should be going out and getting Disney Plus. Those were the headlines that Disney wanted. Disney did not want these headlines out there. And if you look at what's being reported, there is a lot of anti-Disney stuff in this reporting. Okay? And it just doesn't make sense. In my opinion, the timing. The timing is the biggest thing that makes me believe it was Sony. Because even in the Cosmic Book News report, which again, I just don't freaking buy. I'm sorry. I just don't buy that report. I think they're hearing some things. I think they're being correct when they say this deal will be worked out, but they're collecting a lot of data and extrapolating and then calling that extrapolation a report, in my opinion. But even in that report, they point out that that Disney really wants this to be finalized before their presentation tomorrow. So even within the report, which again, you know, I'm not really on board with this report, but within that report, they say that Disney badly wants this all to be handled by tomorrow. And I believe that. You see what I mean? It's like Cosmic Book News is saying that because it's logical. Maybe not because they know it to be true, but because it's logical. So yeah, that I think is where I'm at with it. Let's see here. Jarrett Bailey says, isn't Sony where Spider-Men go to die? Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah. High key want to work for the Den of Nerds. C-Mob, yo, hit me up, man. Send me an email. We need tons of help over here. I mean, we're pretty much a startup. So, you know, like we're not paying everybody big bucks. You know, that's what that means. But, you know, if you provide a lot of value for the company, you could get equity eventually, which is what a lot of startups end up doing. How legit do you think the article from We Got This Covered are? Look, a lot of these places, and I've said it before, here's where I stand with a lot of these places. They know the game, and they get the game, and they get the clicks too, right? So they're trying to get the clicks. I think a lot of these people try to scoop things or try to get exclusives, and they do things to try to get those extra clicks when really all they're doing is extrapolating out points, okay? So email thedenofnerds@gmail.com, C-Mob, and I'll try to get to it. I mean, I'm backed up on emails, but yeah, hit me up with that. Blueprint, need help with your branding? Of course we do. Of course we do. Are we getting an Eternals trailer? Oh, that would be really interesting. I do think we'll get some stuff tomorrow. My money's more on maybe a teaser reel or a scene for the Black Widow movie. But guys, here's what's crazy. Like tonight, as crazy as it is, we could even be getting some trailers tonight for both Marvel and Star Wars, okay? Yes, I'll repeat the email address. thedenofnerds@gmail.com. Email me there. And by the way, guys, you should join our Discord. We have a Discord as well, because we're really trying to like get to the point where we can aggregate a lot of stuff from the fans. So like we're doing this thing right now with the Patreons where, like, you know how I use a lot of clips and memes and stuff in the show? Well, I'm trying to get the Patreons to like put their favorite clips, their favorite memes and stuff like that. So that I can take that, I can put it in the show, and then the Patreons are like, oh, hey, that's that thing I posted or whatever. Anyway. But yeah, we could get a Black Widow thing tonight. We could get something about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. With all of the stuff that's coming to D23, we could get a lot of announcements tonight. Like, here's the thing. Like, it could be really boring tonight. Who knows? But the reason I canceled the Pirates game thing for me, the reason I decided not to go, is because, like, my dream scenario here is literally Kevin Feige walks out on stage and says, you know, I really like the mutants. And I thought, what a better way to start introducing the mutants into the MCU than Disney Plus. And he starts talking about freaking mutants and Disney Plus. Like, holy crap, that'll blow my freaking mind. And we'll have to hop on here. We'll have to do a live stream. We'll have to talk about it with all of you guys. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that other bull crap. Make sure you do it. Because it matters way more than it should because YouTube is stupid. Full Metal Raven asks, how stupid is your logic? Not as stupid as that question. Why don't you just leave? Spider-Man in the MCU sucks. Bella says, I've seen Bella, and Bella's getting a lot of hate in the comment section. I get it, Bella. Like, I get where you're coming from, but, like, you had to know. Oh, it wasn't meant for me, Full Metal Raven. I'm sorry then, bro. I'm sorry. I'm just memeing anyway. But, yeah, like, Bella, I just, you got to read the room, you know? This just happens. You got to read the room, you know. Like this is just probably not the room for you to get a lot of support. Oh geez, There's some hot fire coming in the chat. Let's see here. Peacenik 2K7 says, how likely is the rumor of the new deal? So I think it's pretty likely, actually. I think it's super likely. I mean, essentially, I think here's what's crazy. Like, the reason this story was so shocking to everyone, the reason we've talked about this so much this week, the reason that my entire week was completely sidelined by this story is because it's so illogical. Like, things are good right now. Like, we're here in the like everybody at the Marvel party is like, you know, like bumping elbows, like, yeah, this is awesome. Woo, Marvel, woo, we're killing it right now. You know, Sony just had their biggest movie of all time, produced by Kevin Feige, right? And so, like, to us, we're all like, man, it seems like everything's grooving. And then all of a sudden, talks have collapsed. Spider-Man out of the MCU. Everyone was like, what is happening? What is happening? This doesn't make any sense. So because that was the catalyst, that was why it was so crazy for people. It's also the reason why they'll probably figure it out. Because logic would state they should figure it out. You know what I mean? They should figure it out. There's too much money at stake, Ian Eckerson says. Exactly. By the way, guys, shameless plug, because I've been more active on my Instagram. If you look up Josh _the_Jedi, that's my Instagram right there. You guys should go follow me on the gram, because I'm going to start being more active on there and maybe give you some spicy takes that I wouldn't put on YouTube. You know what I mean? The MCU sucks at Spider-Man? I mean, Bella, I just have to totally disagree. Like, that scene... The one scene with Tony Stark and Peter Parker in Civil War, where the Queen scene, like, when I saw that, I instantly was like, I want hours of these two together. I just want these two together. This is amazing. The kid does a Queen's accent. By the way, it's reported that Sony cast Tom Holland, not Marvel. Marvel wanted someone else. Peace Nick coming in hot with another super chat. If the deal is real, do you think they'll intro Morlun? No, I don't think so. I would love for that to happen, okay? I would. Thank you very much, C-Mob. I'll check my email later today. Morlun. I would love that. I love Spider-Verse. I really do. By the way, Kane. I saw someone ask who my favorite Spider-Man is. It's Kane. Scarlet Spider, not Ben Reilly. I like Ben Reilly. He's just a little soft for me. Kane is the man, dude. And when Kane went to, after Spider Island, when Kane goes to Houston, and there's this great solo run by Christopher Yost. Christopher Yost, by the way, incredible writer, actually does a lot of work in the MCU. I don't know if you know that. You should. Christopher Yost wrote an amazing run with the Scarlet Spider when he's in Houston, and it just felt so indie, man. It felt like this new take on Spider-Man, this indie take on Spider-Man. I fell in love with Kane. I always liked Kane, but I fell in love with Kane as the Scarlet Spider during that run. Oh, man, Marvel Comics, the good old days of Marvel Comics. By the way, I'm a radio host in Seattle. We should collab. We should collab, my friend. But you do a lot of politics stuff? Is that because that's your email right there? I'll save that. But I don't really dip into the politics stuff too much. But that will eventually change. I will eventually talk about politics. Actually, I want to do like a political channel, believe it or not. JT Lavish says, how do you think they would write Spidey out? Oh, that's a great question. Now, we talked about this a little bit the other day. How would they write Spidey out? This is how I would do it. Spider-Man Far From Home took place in a branch timeline. That wasn't our Nick Fury. That wasn't our Tom Holland. That wasn't any of our stuff. That is all a branch timeline. Bada boom, bada bang. There's a branch timeline that doesn't exist. And then I'd literally just carry on as though that movie never happened. Maverick Pilgrim coming in hot with the super chat just to say the Den of Nerds is neat. Waiting for D23 news. Yeah, so Maverick, just so you're aware, the D23 stuff is happening later tonight, but then tomorrow afternoon. So late tonight, we get Disney Plus stuff, and we'll be covering that in some way, shape, or form. And as I keep complaining about, I had to skip the frickin' Pirates game tonight so I can stand here in front of this stupid computer and get ready. I'm just kidding. I love what I do. But, yeah, so we'll be waiting for that news tonight, just so you know. Oh, let's see here. Peace Nick says, yes, and I agree. They should intro Kane and some of the Clone Saga, some of it. Yeah, I mean, it would be really cool. Hopefully, I do believe that some of the stuff with this Sony deal has held up a lot of creative stuff for Feige, right? I mean, we know that the dude wants Norman Osborn. You know what I mean? Dark Avengers, baby. C-Mob knows what's up. I'm obsessed with the Dark Avengers in the MCU. I just think it would be freaking perfect. I think it's the perfect way to take the story now, post-Endgame. Give me some mother flipping Dark Avengers. That would be hot. But yeah, that I think a lot of stuff was actually held up creatively because of this deal. Like a lot. So hopefully, once they finalize this, and if I really do hope it's 6 more pictures, 9 more pictures, whatever. I want at least 5 more pictures between the two, right? With Tom Holland Spider-Man. I would love for the 6, 7 to be true. But if we do that, right, if we get to that point, perhaps they can figure out how to put the Clone Saga in. Perhaps they can figure out what the hell they're doing with these Morbius movies. Like, is Morbius now coming into the MCU? You know what I mean? Are all the Sony movies, like, is this partnership going to the next level? It kind of seems that way. And I think the biggest question mark for me is Venom, right? Like, Venom just doesn't make sense in the MCU. Like, not the way it's currently done. It just doesn't make sense. But man, would it be dope. Like, I just want it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even care if it's possible. I just want it. By the way, I want to get a sense for how the chat. I'm just curious. How do you guys feel about John Campea? And that might seem like it's completely out of left field, but we've been having a lot of talk about John Campea internally at the Den of Nerds with like the producers and Ken and social media and stuff like that. We've been talking about that. How does the chat feel about John Campea? I'm just interested. Let's see here. Aldry asks, Josh, do you think The Mandalorian will live up to its hype? It looks good, but we haven't seen a full episode yet. Here's the thing, Aldry. I don't think that I fundamentally almost disagree with the way you're asking that question because I don't see any hype for The Mandalorian, and I'm actually pissed about it. I'm starting to get pissed off. I'm just kidding. I'm not that upset, but I don't really see a lot of hype for The Mandalorian at all. So to say, will it live up to the hype is almost a weird question to me because there is no hype. Hopefully some hype is created tonight. Hopefully they actually do get it going on. But yeah, I actually don't think there's a lot of hype for it. I think the show will be incredible, though. I think the show will be incredible. And so I hope that answers your question. I think it's going to be awesome. But yeah. Let's see here. Campia is just so contrary to be contrary. Campia is cool. I like Campia. Schnepp and Campia. Campia is overrated. Mad Josh, watch out, peeps. Yeah, so it looks like there's a good bit of a love for Campia and respect in here for Campia. I'll just say this: I really like John Campia a lot. He's a hell of a grinder. He's been in the game for a long time. I just have a lot of personal respect for him, but I just know that there's been sort of a shift in the online perception of him amongst certain groups of people, and so I'm just trying to see where people are at with that. That's all. Who do I think bought Avengers Towers? It's either Reed Richards or Norman Osborn. And, as far as the real answer for that question, maybe it teetered this week, right? When Sony was, screwing things up, it was like, well, looks like Reed Richards bought the tower. And now, everything's working out. It's like, well, maybe it was Norman Osborn. You know what I mean? Yeah, so could be like that. Could be Justin Hammer. I actually think that Justin Hammer taking over for the Norman Osborn that we had in the comic books for Dark Avengers would be perfect. And I know some people are like, oh, man, no, I don't like that. They turned him so soft and weak. They could turn that right back around, dude. He's an incredible actor. They can figure that out. I feel like everyone is ignoring this pizza for Josh idea. Yeah, they probably are, Maverick Pilgrim. They probably are. Hey, look, maybe a small portion of Patreon funds this month can go to Lonely Josh Pizza as he sits in front of the computer and makes content for us all. That could be kind of fun, huh? Josh, do you think Feige will talk about Spider-Man at all if the deal isn't done? No. I almost think they won't talk about Spider-Man at all no matter what. I just think it's honestly a bad move. I say focus on your other stuff. You know what I mean? Focus on your other stuff. But if he wanted to just tease or drop something at the end just to make everybody feel really good about it, that could be really cool too. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. Pizza time. Yeah, dude. I love that meme. Pizza for Josh. Am I the only one who doesn't care for Dark Avengers? Trey F. Kennedy? What the hell did you just say? Am I the only one that doesn't care about what? Dark Avengers? What? All right. That's one. That's one, Trey F. Kennedy. That's one. And you only get 3 around here. Will they drop something to try and ease all this bad publicity, in my opinion? They will drop something. Yeah, they probably will. They probably will. You'll get your rent when you fix the damn cinematic universe. Oh, I love it. I love it. The memes is amazing. Y'all really think Tom Holland could just walk away from his contract? Here's the thing, Mr. J. He can. He totally can. You know, there's this famous saying, contracts were meant to be broken. By the way, Hugo Weaving still under contract to appear in the MCU as the Red Skull for one more movie, but he was not in either Infinity War or Endgame. But that has more to do with the fact that, in Hollywood, you might have an actor under contract, but the truth is, pursuing those kind of contracts, pursuing those kind of deals is often very bad for the studio. There's all kind of things that happen with that. The reps, the guilds, all kinds of stuff is involved with that. So yeah, you can definitely break them contracts. By the way, Disney broke contracts with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was supposed to have more than just a cameo and have a run of the series for the new Star Wars trilogy. How'd that work out for him? Peace Nick says Dark Avengers vs. X-Men, it needs to happen. Yeah, but okay, so this is my thing. I actually would like for the Dark Avengers and the X-Men to sort of all be happening at the same time. Now, when it's going to be really interesting to see how they handle the mutants, how they handle all of that works. But my gut is telling me that mutants and the X-Men and that kind of stuff is going to kind of happen separately to what's going on with the Dark Avengers. But it would be sick to get some mutants or maybe some darker mutants on the Dark Avengers squad, because the way I see this going down is like the world's like, yo, we need to be ready for another crazy threat. I actually believe that whatever meeting Fury was going to take both Quentin Beck and Peter Parker to, like the following day, I think it was in Hungary, right? Or Hamburg or something, in Spider-Man Far From Home. I believe that meeting that he's going to is to create a new state-sponsored or perhaps UN-sponsored or World Council-sponsored group of heroes. And I think that under the guise of this thing, Berlin, thank you, under the guise of this thing being really good for the planet, I kind of think that we will sort of allow some dark powers to be in control there, some dark people in control. So I would actually like for it to be kind of melded and blended together. That's what I would like to do. Yeah, Dakin would be cool, but like we don't even have James. The problem with that, my friend, is we don't even have Wolverine in the MCU right now. You know what I mean? So how can we have Dakin? We don't even have. That's crazy. Drew Boyle says, "I just want all of this Spider-Man drama to be over and done. Leaving Spider-Man in the MCU." Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are at, brother. I definitely want it to be done. Yo, let me know, chat. I want to know, how many gamers do we have in here right now? I want to know. How many of y'all played in video games? Let me know in the chat. Do I think Mysterio is really dead? Jose Hernandez? Hell nah. Hell nah, dog. I do think he's alive. Rise up, gamers. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. We got some gamers in here. So a couple of different things. First of all, I need every single one of you, and I'll know if you don't do it. I will know, and I will freak out. Go look up the Den of Nerds Gaming right now. The Den of Nerds Gaming is the channel. Right now, Justin runs that channel. Justin is one of my dudes, man. He just did a stream today talking about Fate Grand Order. It's like a Japanese mobile game that he has really grown the channel through. But we're going to start covering all sorts of stuff when it comes to games over on the Den of Nerds Gaming channel. Go check it out right now. If you don't, I'll know. And also, I want to tell you guys about this Remnant from the Ashes game. Have you heard about this? Remnants from the Ashes? Let's see here. Peace Nick coming in with another super chat. Sabretooth should join the Dark Avengers instead of Dakin. Woo! I like that. I really like that. I really want Joe Manganiello in the MCU as well for some kind of big role like that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he could do Sabretooth. He probably could. But yeah, I would like that. Let's see here. Jake Payne says, I really hope we get a Secret Invasion and we finally introduce Deadpool in the MCU so he can save the universe. Yeah, so I hope for a Secret Invasion as well, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with Secret Invasion, because one of my biggest kind of complaints about the Captain Marvel movie is that we've got these good guy Skrulls. Look, there have been good guy Skrulls in the comics. I'm not saying there's not, but it just bums me out that, like, we started out with good guy Skrulls. Like, nah, man, we need some evil, crazy Skrulls. If we're trying to get into some Secret Invasion, that could have been a really cool way for them to go. In the MCU. You know, we heard about these sleeper cells, the Kree sleeper cells on Earth. So maybe there'll be something like that with the Secret Invasion. I don't know. But, yeah, as far as what you're saying about Deadpool in the MCU, that's almost a given, bro. That's definitely happening. And thank God, because I like Deadpool 2, but Deadpool 2 pales in comparison to Deadpool 1, man. And now they got that Disney money, and they got the access to the new Disney X-Men, and Deadpool can literally be self-referential about this whole crazy thing. Deadpool can joke about the Fox deal. Deadpool can joke about... Did I miss your super chat, brother? I'll check it out. Deadpool can be joking... Oh, I did see it. Recast Tom Holland as Sam Alexander. Hey, he could be like a great Sam Alexander. He honestly could. But yeah, Deadpool can literally joke about how little money Dark Phoenix made. Like, Deadpool, I really hope this happens. Deadpool needs to make a joke about how, like, the Game of Thrones girls and their Marvel pursuits, real bad. Like, we need to somehow make a joke about how Sophie Turner's movie, like, failed terribly, but at least she got hers released. Am I right? Because Maisie Williams' New Mutants movie ain't even coming out, dog. You know what I mean? Oh, that's rough. I really want Namor in Black Panther 2, says Peace Nick. I'd love it if they brought in Luke Cage as a part of the crew. Ooh, that could be really interesting. The Crew. That's a deep cut, bro. That is a deep cut. That would be cool. I'm just excited to see how a lot of these characters. I do think that there is something to that Namor and Black Panther 2 thing. Like, there's a lot of smoke there, right? And so everybody's just either on that rumor train, or it's true, and that's what will be happening. Is Nova going to be introduced? There's a lot of rumors about Nova being introduced. I think Nova is something that fans want really badly, and I think that we will get Nova in some way. Hard to say where that's going to fit in. You know what I mean? Could be on Disney Plus. Could be in Captain Marvel 2. Could be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Could even be in Thor a little bit. You know what I mean? When do I think the next Spider-Man MCU movie is dropping? That's a really good question. Look, a lot's going to have to deal with what happens now, right? We're hearing, and the report is that they're knee-deep in negotiations, that something could be finalized as soon as by the end of today. So maybe we'll get that announced. When they announce Phase 5, I'm sure they will put some Spider-Man stuff up there. But yeah, at this point, I think Venom 2 and Morbius are the next big things that come out as far as Spider-Man from Sony, and I'm damn interested in Venom 2. I mean, Andy Serkis as a director, I mean, that's great get. That is a great get. You got Woody Harrelson and Tom Hardy going head-to-head. Wow, dude. Carnage and Venom. I think it'll be even better than the first one. I really like Venom. It's just really fun, but it's not like a great movie, right? At some points, you're enjoying the movie in spite of itself at some points of that film. But yeah, it would be hella cool to be getting all of that in there. Let's see here. Nick LaCamera says, how do you think they'll incorporate Daredevil into the MCU? Okay, so Daredevil will likely be recast, and I assume they will do something with him from the lawyer angle, or they will attach it. Like, it's obviously, like, I have no idea. It's speculation, right? But that's kind of what you're asking. You're asking for my speculation. Well, I say you bring him in as a lawyer, perhaps helping out Peter Parker. I actually ran that. I ran that in a show a couple of weeks back because I thought it would be dope. If Peter Parker needs a lawyer now because of all the defamation, right? I mean, like, the world is now seeing him as a villain and that he's Spider-Man. It could be really cool if Matt Murdock shows up as the lawyer. And I expect the version that we'll get in the MCU of Daredevil will be less like I love Charlie Cox. I think, like, I'm heartbroken that era of Daredevil is done, but we'll always have those 3 seasons and they're amazing. But he'll be less kind of emo, I think. When we see Daredevil in the MCU, I think he'll be well put together, established as a hero and established as a lawyer, and be much more suave. I think we'll get a suave version of Matt as opposed to the more emotional version and gritty version that we got in Deadpool or on Netflix. Avengers in Space, Second Street Marvel says, a throwaway line from Talos in Far From Home. Does he say that? Does he really say that in Far From Home? Because, like, I gotta know. That's kind of interesting. Huh. Interesting. What just happened? What did just happen? I don't know. You tell me. I think they introduced vampires, and Mysterio could resurrect Wolverine soon after the Sony timeline. That would be really crazy. You know what I really want? This is what I really want. I really want them to do Exiles. And I think Exiles is a great way to have some... like, to establish some versions of characters, alternate versions of characters that we have met, and some alternate versions of characters that we have yet to meet. Like, I say, do Exiles, have Spider-Man 2099, you know what I mean? You could have a version of Wolverine, you could have a version of Hyperion, you know, like, just do, like, your own Exiles team, and it's protected, because what the Exiles is, like, they're basically going out throughout different time periods, different multiverses, and doing these adventures. It's super disconnected from, like, main timeline story, right? So, yeah. Voices in head. Please answer! Is the Spider-Man going to stay in the MCU? In all likelihood, yes. At this point, I'm putting it at 90% yes. Spider-Man is back in the MCU. Amir Smith says, I would rather see Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. She-Hulk, be the lawyer. I'd love to see them go head-to-head. I'd love to see both of them in that courtroom. That would be incredible. That would be awesome. Oh, he didn't say it, but he asked if they're supposed to say. Oh, right. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. What do you think of this bonus action scene in the new Far From Home release? I mean, I got to be honest with you here. I don't think it's really going to be worth going to see. Um, it's probably just that scene that was in those one trailers where he's fighting all the Yakuza, or not the Yakuza, but like the mafioso dudes. So I'm sure it's cool, and it'll probably be that scene that we heard that got cut where Peter is selling all of his Star Wars toys. And look, I mean, I'm not saying that's not cool stuff, but it's not necessarily worth going out to run and see the movie for. However, I'll tell you what would be worth it. A post-credit scene with Norman Osborn and the Sinister Six and proof that Mysterio is alive again, which was a rumor, actually. But imagine if they did that. Imagine if they came out and said, hey, guys, go check out Spider-Man Far From Home. And, by the way, there's a new post-credit scene out there that reveals a new villain that, you know, we wanted to put in a film originally, but then we took it out, but now we're ready to talk about it. Dude, a bajillion people would go out and see that movie again. You know what I mean? You have a little more Norman Osborn in there. That'd be sick. Who do you think will be the next Thanos? I think it'll be Galactus. So there's some rumors about Galactus coming in. That could definitely be. But the other rumor that I heard was that they were going to do not Adam Warlock, but a character very similar to that character. Why can't I think of this character's name? Almost like a version of the Beyonder. I forget who's this guy. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it would be cool if Doctor Doom could come in and definitely take that kind of a role, be very crazy with that. So it would be that. No, it's not Kang. It's not Kang. Let's see here. Rumored cosmic MCU villain. So there was the rumors about Tyrant and Galactus coming in. That could be cool. But that's not who I was talking about. Michael Korvac, that's it. Korvac. Yeah, Korvac, yep. So that's the one. So they're thinking that Korvac could be the big bad cosmically, and that could be really interesting because of possible connections that you could make with the Captain Marvel character and the Korvac character. Yeah, something like that. Yep. Yeah, I know, right? Ridiculous. But then again, you think about the history of Marvel, particularly with the cosmic side. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty whack and obscure, actually. You know what I mean? I mean, for a comic book fan, you're like, no, that's a big team, and I get it, but it's kind of still a long shot, right? Larry Carroll, I say they bring in X-Force as a S.H.I.E.L.D. team first. Ooh. I like that. I actually really like that. Let's see here. Everything I Do coming in with a big old super chat. Who is the girl in front desk in Captain America? I'm not sure who you're referring to, man. Which Captain America movie? What front desk? I don't know. Love the show. I wait to hear from you before I pass judgment on any breaking news, bro. That being said, Kang should be the next big bad. Let's wait on Galactus. Yeah. Well, thanks for the love. Look behind me. Okay. Let's see. Are you going to Keystone Comic-Con this weekend here in Philly? No, I'm not, unfortunately. Things are just kind of in transition right now. And, yeah, I'm transitioning, man. We got a lot on our plate right now, and I can't really go to cons. The next con I'm going to is New York Comic-Con. If you guys are doing New York Comic-Con, come on out and see us at New York Comic-Con. Yeah, should be a good time. And other than that, I actually don't think I'm doing many cons for the rest of the year. However, I am planning to go back to many conventions next year to meet a lot of different nerdy people, have a lot of awesome nerdy times, and I'm also working on coming back to comic books. I have left comic books for a long time, but I want to come back to comic books. I've been talking to some people in the comic book industry, so I might be making another comic book, and then I'll be kind of taking that around next year to different conventions as well. Let's see here. John Wheeler says, "What do you think of Christian Bale or Hugh Jackman as Norman Osborn? Both would be great. Both would be great. But they also kind of both seem like dudes that might not want to join this circus anymore, right? It is a pretty wild, crazy thing that's going on right now with these comic book conventions and these characters. It's a big freaking thing, man. So I don't know if they would be super interested in doing that anymore. But both of them could potentially really do it. The 1619P asking me about Powers of X, House of X. Actually, I was planning on doing videos for that stuff this week, but then all the Sony stuff happened, and it's just been kind of a crazy, crazy week. So, yeah, wasn't able to really do that. But I'm loving. I'm like one of the biggest Jonathan Hickman fans you will ever meet. You will ever meet. I love Jonathan Hickman. Just an incredible writer. Incredible writer. Actually, his books are so good, they make me want to come back to comics. It's literally part of the reason I want to come back. So, yeah. I saw someone ask about Twitch. I think it was UC Mob. Yeah, we're working on the Twitch thing. We're working on getting that figured out. I'm actually doing a whole new show on Twitch. So there's going to be this thing called the morning stream where I stream every morning. It's like a live radio show every morning. We're even going to have options for people to call in, talk about things that are going on in the world. And the show will cover all things in pop culture, Marvel, Star Wars, video games, anime, all sorts of crazy stuff. So that will be coming. That will be coming to Twitch very soon. And then you guys are going to all have to follow me on Twitch and watch that show. Because I think it'll be very, very fun for you guys. I got to be honest. Yeah. Should be really cool. Should be really cool. All right, I'm going for like 5 to 10 more minutes, guys, and then we're getting on out of here. We're getting on out of here. Yeah, my sisters are all mad. Vastion Creed, Keanu Reeves as Osborn? Maybe. I don't know. The thing about Keanu, and I think this is part of the reason. By the way, Matrix 4, everybody? Are you excited for the Matrix 4? Because I'm pretty freaking excited for the Matrix 4. Got to be real. But I want to know what you guys think. The tricky thing with Keanu is that I think this is not. I'm trying not to dig on the dude's acting ability or his range, but I just think he only works for certain characters, right? Like I've yet to see him film with Keanu and been like, "Yo, his range really surprised me. I didn't think that he could pull off that kind of a role." So like, it's just tough. I almost don't think you want him to be Keanu or Norman Osborn. I think he could work in certain roles. I don't know if that's one of them. That's just my opinion. This is my opinion. By the way, I'm getting blown up right now. But, guys, you know what would be awesome? If you blew me up even more, go follow me on Instagram, Josh_the_Jedi. Go follow me on Instagram. I feel like the rest of Phase 4 timeline is going to be revealed at D23. Maybe. There's also rumors about it being Phase 5. Phase 5 could be revealed at D23. I mean, like, this is why I can't go to the freaking Pirates game tonight. The possibilities are too crazy. We just don't know. Yo, Keanu in Knock Knock, I've heard that's really good. That's like with the like crazy like girls that come to his house and like whatever, right? Cool as. I will definitely get to the DMs in a little bit here. So Spider-Man is fine. Ryan Whitmill asks, probably. 90% sure Spider-Man is going to be all right. He's going to head back into the MCU. The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually do like those movies, Joe. I do. I do. What do I think of Harry Osborn in the MCU? I mean, we haven't seen him, right? Yeah, I mean, I think Keanu could crush it for Adam Warlock. There's certain characters that he would work really well. Keanu as the Punisher, maybe. I mean, dude, John Wick. I mean, am I right? That John Wick stuff's really crazy. Let me just say a couple things before I get out of here, guys. I want to say, if you're a gamer, if you're one of these people, if you're like me, right? You love games. You get frustrated about shitty monetization practices. You get frustrated with EA. You get frustrated with all this stuff that's going on in gaming right now. It is really important that as a gamer, you support really good developers and good publishers. Your money is really important in this industry, the way you spend it. I am personally recommending this game called Remnants from the Ashes. Okay, Remnants from the Ashes. I'm highly recommending. And by the way, if you get it on Xbox, hit me up. I'll play some of it with you. I think this game is amazing. It's literally like a Diablo kind of Warframe, kind of Destiny, but also with some shades of like Sekiro and Dark Souls. It is literally like it's like Dark Holes or Dark Souls kind of like difficulty and like the bonfire system of Dark Souls, but it's a shooter game. It's a shooter looter that's third person. It's just so much fun. I played the hell out of it last night with my buddy. We actually beat a world boss. We beat a world boss last night and got this like exclusive like rocket launcher thing. It is amazing. I am highly recommending for everyone to check out. Yeah, Dark Holes. Yeah, good one, Christian. Yeah, you got me. But yeah, I'm personally recommending Remnants from the Ashes to everyone. What do I think about Sony buying Insomniac? I think they're gearing up for the PlayStation 5 versus Scorpio war. That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think about that. But yeah, Remnants from the Ashes. Go check it out, guys. It is a super legit game. And I will do one more question. Can I post links in here? Yeah, it depends on what it is, but yeah. I'm just going to wait for like a nice, juicy question that I want to answer. Brian. Let's see here. Which horror characters do you want to see in the MCU? That's pretty good. Well, why only 90%? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, C-Mob, 1v1 me in Smash? Who's your main, dude? Who's your main in Smash? You tell me right now. You tell me right now. You tell me right now. Okay, let's do the Pope Platinum's question here. Giancarlo Esposito as Magneto. Yeah, I'm down. I'm super down. I just think it would be awesome. Alex, did I miss your super chat? There's a super chat in here. There's no question. So sorry, man. I didn't see it. Okay. So Giancarlo Esposito as Magneto. So this is actually something that John Campea talked about, where he was like, look, I don't know if it works anymore with Magneto being from concentration camps and focusing on the Holocaust, because it's just kind of like so far distant that it's really hard to sort of relate to. And perhaps you could relate better to someone who's African-American, and someone African-American, that plight being sort of wound into the Magneto character. I'm not super against that. Like, I think it would be great. But Giancarlo Esposito is just an incredible actor. So to see him being Eric, I think would be awesome. Like, there's just by the way, this one thing that Fox has done great is actually cast people that are incredible for this. Incredible. Both Ian McKellen and dude that I'm blanking on his name, both of them are amazing as Magneto, right? And I think Giancarlo Esposito is a great actor. So I'd like to see that. But also, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it just feels like sometimes when you do things like that, and I could see them saying, like, hey, we think this would be a good way to twist the character, and on paper it makes sense. Fassbender, thank you. I think it also just kind of ties into some stuff that people are just not crazy about right now. You know what I mean? They just don't want to hear about this stuff anymore. They don't want to have, like, politics pushed into things anymore. And even if it's not, even if it's done purely from a story perspective, it just might not be the best optics, right? So there is my fence-sitting weird-ass answer to your question. There you go, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. You guys are amazing. Make sure you like and subscribe, right? Because the thing is, D23 is going on. If you didn't hear me complain in this live stream, I'm missing a Pirates game tonight with my two amazing sisters so that I can watch this D23 stuff and hang out with you guys. So please, make sure you come back tonight for the D23 stuff. We're going to be talking about all that craziness all weekend long. As I always say, I hope you guys are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Wait, what's behind me?